Welcome to another battle report brought to you by Get Some, gamers into tactical simulations using miniatures, a gaming group in Arkansas and Tennessee. My name is Grabartson, though some call me Bugs. I'm bringing my UEDF against John Mark's Zentraedi. In this battle report, I'm going to be using a different format to hopefully show a bit more of the action. The tables at the game store in Jacksonville are a bit high for the tripod, so that's why some of the angles were off. I'm bringing close to my standard list. I like the mix of Destroids and Valkyries, and for once I'm bringing some nose lasers, because I wanted to try them out while being in the fighter mode. I'm a big fan of these three characters, Freeman for his 3 shots, Dietrich for his leadership, and Kane for his ability to get stuck in. John Mark's list is pretty close to what he normally brings too. He likes to have Grell, Azonia, a couple recon pods, and a bunch of artillery pods, as well as a slew of battle pods. They're just everywhere. And today we're playing pitched battle with no special rules. When I was reading the rules for pitched battle, I didn't see that it went on to the next page, so that's why we don't use the special rules. Almost all of the terrain is from Hawk War Games. The green square with all the trees counts as a forest. We have a blocking line of sight up to 3 inches in and is rough terrain. The trees in other squares are just give cover. This is really great terrain. I highly recommend. I deployed in such a way that almost all of my mecha was hidden, and John Mark kind of did the same thing. He put Grell's unit over there in those trees, and his Zonia's on the other flank with the artillery in the middle. Really good deployment, I think. The first turn I struck first. I was able to get Freeman into a good position to spot for my phalanxes that were just barely in range of his artillery pods that were right there. I was able to manage to get 3 of them underneath the template and blew up all 3. It was just great. The rest of the turn was basically shuffling forward, everybody trying to keep important people behind cover. You can see Azoni there was behind a building as my planes moved forward, and they were all getting behind the building. And for once I was trying to use the close formation with the 1As. I was going to see if that could help them out with trying to hit people, because their gunnery is not all that great, especially against the defense of all those battle pods. You can see my 1S and 1J were also hidden behind buildings. And there's Grell. He's a little forward, not screened, and beyond 8 inches from those battle pods in the back. John Mark was playing pretty aggressive there. He also was able to manage to just kind of shuffle his recon pods and his other artillery pods in a place where I wouldn't be able to get to them very well. We paused the action when something kind of major happened here. I was able to get my 1J and 1S in a position to fire on Grell, and got him before he could move. So that was one less officer battle pod to worry about, and that means that this squadron is going to slowly go away. As you know, those battle pods just die unless they have their officer battle pod to bring them back in. The bad news for me was that I had to use some command points to boost the speed of my 1As. I spent 2 command points each. Well, 2 of them completely failed, and the other one passed both times. So he just went on a suicide run, killed an artillery battle pod, and then he flew off the board. Meanwhile, another artillery battle pod moved up and shot the other 1A that was going one direction. End of turn 2, my 1J had the afterburner because he was still in plane, and he kind of got surrounded by some battle pods. He was up there just long enough to spot for the phalanxes, but they didn't really do anything. They just missed. As you can see, he was completely surrounded. This 1A is just up on the top of the building there. He's just in a bad spot. Hopefully I can win initiative next turn. And here's an overview of the battlefield at the end of the turn. You can see all those battle pods still coming down and my Destroids kind of hiding. But we're coming. We're coming for you, John Mark. At the end of turn 3, not a lot has happened. That 1A got hit by the artillery battle pod that was still remaining. We're going to call him Mr. Overkill, because that's just what he does. 6 missiles, 9 point each. Yeah, nobody has that many hit points. Some more battle pods kind of popped, but not as many as I would have liked. There's one coming, just jumping on buildings to get some shots at some of the destroyers as they're coming in. Kane, right there, is going running around the buildings trying to finally get into somewhere where he can shoot somebody. Over there's Azonia, and he's been bringing her squad and back, up and back. He has some kind of trap planned for me, I think. But of course, when it comes to traps, I follow the Jedi philosophy is why don't you just spring it to see what happens. And right here was some battle pods, but they're just going to come back next turn. Freeman and Dietrich have been having some fun, but really they're not doing anything with the battle except making him spend a command point at the beginning of each turn to bring on more battle pods. Whoop-de-doo. End of turn 4, I won initiative and I was really trying to kill off that Mr. Overkill and some other of this battle pods. I thought my 1S was safe, but he wasn't. I completely missed the artillery pod. He boosted speed and then was able to get a shot off on the 1S and kill him. Other than that, nothing else really happened. Azonia did manage to get Kane down to 2 MDC left, though. Turn 5, we had all to play for. John Mark was up 12-6. I had to kill Mr. Overkill and a recon pod to bring it up to a potential win, and I had to kill a couple of his battle pods to knock that squad below half. So initiative was very important. I luckily was able to win, and John Mark tried to steal it but failed. Mr. Overkill's nickname is Mr. Dodgy, because he dodged a lot of incoming fire. I was landing shot after shot after shot in that area. Phalanxes were missing those battle pods. I had defenders firing airbursts. They just weren't doing anything. Some of the artillery was landing instead of on the pods, but on top of the defender, which managed to dodge, thankfully. Another artillery landed there and missed. It was awesome. However, Kane was able to get up there and shoot off that recon pod, so all I had to do was kill Mr. Overkill, and as you've seen, I was able to when Dietrich came around the corner and shot him with his big particle cannons. I was able to kill just enough battle pods to give me half the victory points for Grell's squadron, which put me over the top at 14 points. At which point, we called it. There was no way that he was going to be able to kill off 4 of my destroids when only one of them was even partially damaged. So as you can see, there's Dietrich. He was the game winner for me. And you can see Freeman in the bottom left-hand corner there for a second. And this is a Zoni squadron who pretty much did what he was supposed to. He was leading and he didn't want to get across in the open, so he was just bouncing back and forth trying to draw me out. And I was pretty much falling for it. And there this Zonia was heading towards Kane, just could not kill him. Really close. It was a fun game, and the UEDF pulled out the win on almost the very last roll of the dice, which was always exciting. John Mark killed off my Valkyrie squadron. I killed off his artillery squadron and over half of Grell's squadron, which gave me the win. I hope you liked this format. Let me know what you think in comparison to the old format in the comments below. And that concludes another battle report brought to you by Get Some, a gamers group in Arkansas and Tennessee. And as always, thanks for watching.